Hey there, everyone. We are live. Welcome back to another late edition of Be the Boss of Your Money. We're going to talk about a couple of things. I want to make this short and sweet because let me tell you something. It's been one heck of a week. This is one for the records this week. Okay. Did we survive the zombie apocalypse? Everyone was it was complete pandemonium yesterday. A lot of people were posting pictures at video at Costco and other big box stores about you know everything that was out of stock, and it gets you worried. Even if you are not worried, that could get you worried just to see what happens because you don't want to be without. You don't want to be the one schmuck who decided, oh, I'm not going to worry about this, and then when the what hits the fan, you're like, wow, I don't have anything. I'm totally unprepared, and we don't want it. Nobody wants that to happen. So that's part of that. So before we go any further, let's cue the quick intro. And then we've got, I think, 4 or 5 quick points to make. And I say quick, okay? Here we go. Okay, we're back. So just playing with a few things on my screen. So what a week it's been. Yesterday, we saw the biggest down day points-wise since 1987. Certainly the biggest down day that I've seen in my career. And I entered the securities industry in 1990. So never have I seen a bigger day than that. We didn't even have days like that during the Great Recession. And when it seems like the whole world is closing, the whole economy, you like my picture there? The zombie apocalypse picture? I'm having so much fun with this green screen stuff. The green screen is just, is it fair that I'm having so much fun, even while the market is plunging? I enjoy this. Listen, I'm a news junkie. I love the news. My wife always suggests to me, Judy, if you're watching, read a novel, read something. But I like to read my articles. I read articles about all kinds of things, but I love the news. I love current events. And, for someone like me, who's a little bit of a news junkie, maybe a little wee bit on the nerdy side, this is interesting stuff. Okay. This will pass. So the question of the day, da, 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 da. Do you think that all of this mayhem will pass and the stock market will recover? If you don't think so, there's no reason to stay invested in the market. Why bother with the risk if you don't think it's going to come back? Something deep inside you in your brain, whether if it's logically or emotionally, something is telling you that this will come back. The market will come back. It's a different story to say when. I believe it'll come back because, why am I staying in this career if I didn't believe, right? It's always come back after every disaster. It's just a matter of the timing. And if you're, young, my age, that's right, I said I'm young. It's really no big deal. This will come back. You'll be okay. It's really only a problem if the money that you need over the next 1, 2, or 3 years is invested in the market. Then it's a problem for you because now your financial obligations are coming due, and you're going to have to sell even more shares of stocks, mutual funds, or exchange traded funds to make up, the difference. We could even search that for 4 or 5 years. Money shouldn't be in the market. And I want to say that there's a difference between having an emergency fund and money set aside for a goal. Let's say someone's saving up to buy a house and they've got their down payment in the bank. That shouldn't be considered an emergency fund because there's a financial obligation attached to it. That's really a matter of personal finance. Now, it's up to you. You don't have to follow those instructions. You could just do what you want. Okay, fine. We're adults. We do what we want. But that's what puts the personal into personal finance. Today is the day that the President of the United States declared a national emergency. And the stock market went up. And I'm sure a lot of people thought, oh, this is it. Here we go. This is the whole point of today's live episode of Be the Boss of Your Money. This is the whole point. Okay. By the way, welcome to you if you're watching this live, and welcome to you if you're watching this in the replay. If you have a question, ask me in the comments. When I do these late lives, I don't check the questions during the live because I want these to go pretty quickly, and I don't want to spend the time. I can spend the time after the presentation responding to your questions and the shout outs and all that good stuff. So I just want to get through this. Okay. What I said yesterday, I said it twice. I said it on my afternoon live yesterday, and I said it as a guest on someone else's live, my friend Frank Maurizio, and someone you should connect with on LinkedIn. If you don't know, Frank Maurizio is a great guy, and he does this whole thing, Tip Tuesday. It's terrific. So shout out to you, buddy. And we talk a lot about this whole video, social media stuff. So anyway, what I said is the market, the stock market, and the public could recover. The stock market will recover when we take the bitter medicine. You know, you're getting rid of halting international arrivals from Europe for air travel. People are canceling vacations. All kinds of big venues like Madison Square Garden, the Barclays Center are closed in New York City, and this is happening all over the country. It's not, this is not a localized thing. It's everywhere. School districts. I speak to people all over the country daily. An associate of mine, she's in Pennsylvania, and her school district is closed. We got the email today. My kid's school district is going to be closed starting Monday for 2 weeks. Part of that, 1 week of that, though, is spring break. So it's kind of, I guess, you kind of get 2 weeks for the price of one, or 1 week, something like that. We have to take the bitter medicine. We have to go through the process of taking the bitter medicine that will hurt the economy. And if it hurts the economy, it hurts corporate earnings, it hurts GDP, stock market goes down, layoffs, bank issues, people over leveraged, people can't pay back loans, businesses have trouble paying back loans. There's a whole thing to it. But once we take the bitter medicine, and we're getting it now, that's what's going to give the public and investors confidence that something real, tangible, and effective is happening. Because you saw how it was handled in Asia, and people thought that's over the top. It turns out that's what we needed. Okay. So I don't know how many states have declared a national emergency. I saw a map the other day, and it looked like most states were at that point of declaration of emergency. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the map I saw, if I recall correctly. That's the medicine. That's the thing that inspires confidence, where we know the medicine is going to be bitter. It'll hurt the economy. But once we have that, we can see across the valley to the next peak. Across the valley, we can see the other side of the valley, the next peak. That's what inspires confidence among investors. The tougher the measures, the better off the stock market will be, is what I've been saying. Could be wrong. We're still early innings, but we're seeing it now. And I think that is really the critical thing. Okay. So when I sent out the alert for today's live, I'm going to share it with you because there's only a few points to make. And then I'm going to the gym, and believe it or not, I have a new prospective client coming to my office tonight at 6:30. So I'll be back in a little while. Okay. I want to share this with you. You probably saw this already. Okay. Can I make this bigger? A little bit. Okay. So we survived yesterday's madness. Yes, we did. I haven't seen anybody posting pictures on social media anyway from my anecdotal evidence regarding the empty shelves at Costco and the madness and the parking lots and the lines going around buildings, etc. Stocks rebounded almost 2,000 points. That is one heck of a rebound. That makes up, pretty much. Yes, we would have another 550 points or so to go to make up for all of yesterday's retreat, but we'll take it. Listen, after a day like yesterday, this is very soothing for investors. What determines the action for next week, I don't like to think this short term as far as making investments, but I do want to keep abreast of the news, is we'll have to see how many more people come down or tested positive. How many people have a positive result to the coronavirus test? So we'll see. The idea is we know people have it. We know the numbers are going to rise, and the only reason the numbers are low is because not enough people have been tested yet. But what we don't want is we don't want our healthcare system to be completely overrun all at once, like what happened in Italy. So if a lot of people are going to get it, better to spread it out over time. So we don't have to just inundate every hospital, every emergency room, every ICU in the country. Okay. What else? President Trump, he already declared the national emergency, and we survived. Like I said, that's the bitter medicine that we needed to take to get better. What else? When will the stock market recover? I think today was a very positive step. I normally don't get excited when the market has a giant rally after a giant drop. I would rather see smaller bumps up. I don't like when we see a giant rally to just get repealed a day or two later. But if the bitter medicine is being distributed, and we're going to line up drive-through testing. There's one in California I saw, and we're going to, basically close schools, close public places, eliminate gatherings of 500 or 1,000 people or more. That's good, and I think that's the kind of measures we need to take to get through this. So we may have seen the bottom. Hey, listen, it was a quick 28, 27% correction, bear market in stocks. This is the fastest we've ever seen stocks go down this much this far. Some people say, well, the quicker it goes down, the quicker it goes back up. Everyone's saying these phrases, but you don't know. I mean, you just don't know. There was a lot of fluff in the stock market, I feel, especially from the the third and fourth quarter of 2019 to the first 6 weeks of 2020. And that's gone away, and that's fine. So what I think is, 2019 was up a lot. The year 2020 was supposed to be a big rebound in earnings to justify the up move in stocks for 2019. We're obviously not going to get that this year. So now the 2020 slump is depending on a 2021 recovery. And since the market is a forward-looking mechanism, I think investors are actually starting to look across the valley to the next peak. That's a very bullish thing. We'll see. If you're going to buy something, though, if you say, if you're asking, is now a good time to invest? What should we pick up? What I say is make sure that whatever you purchase, make sure it has a proper fit in your portfolio. So this way, if we're wrong, the market turns down again, the stock you purchase happens to be one of the stocks that doesn't recover so quickly, at least you made the right decision in terms of allocating your assets. That's the important thing. This way, up market or down market over the near term, it's not going to matter. Isn't that a better way to invest? So I want to show you guys something before we go, and it is this. This is my weekly email. Every Friday, I do a blast email. And if I may say, and I'm told this by a lot of people, but I write some really cool stuff. I don't write your regular generic stuff. And by the way, folks, the content that I distribute, it's mine. I mean, you can have it, but meaning I create it. I write my own content. I produce my own video content. And granted, I have help. I have an editor and, so people that do a lot of this background stuff for me. This is how I have the time to get everything done. But I do create the content. Take a look at my website. It's my content. But I send out a blast email every Friday where I really put my thoughts down precisely, concisely. I just think better when I write than any other way. I think a lot of people are like that. But, what I started with was jarring, head spinning, shocking, astonishing. unprecedented, boggling, haywire, information overload, but none of these words comes close to pandemic. If you'd like to get the newsletter, let me know in the comments, send me a DM. I'll get your email. I don't sell my email addresses to anybody. They're just for my own business use. I don't spam. I send out a weekly email. Rarely will I send out an extra email during the week. But if it's something like the Dow going down 1,000, 2,000 points, that might call for an extra email. And I sometimes alert people when I'm doing a live, but I can't send out an email every time I do a live episode. This is being streamed live right now onto YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and I'll check all of those to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, so that's really about it. One real quick, if you didn't see this, I made a video with a mental health care professional, Aoife O'Donnell. She was my guest on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoons is typically a time when I like to have a guest on my show. And she is the CEO of a company called National EAP. They create and design employee assistance. Excuse me, I'm a little spent today. This has been a busy week. Employee assistance programs. And she talked about tips and mental health for both the workforce and at home. Take a look at this video. It's the 10-minute version, edited version, is on my YouTube channel. You can check out the full version all over my LinkedIn profile and Facebook Client First Strategy Facebook page. And the YouTube has just the 10-minute version. Had a little press coverage. I was on TV for a little bit about the stock market. The last time the stock market went down like 2,000 points. And this is my live from yesterday. Just sharing it here with people who just, not everybody checks out social media, and but every, client and prospect I have is in my email database. So this way I can make sure everybody sees my content. You can't reach everybody just with a LinkedIn post. You have to really try to reach everybody with different modes. So anyway, that's about it. That's my wrap up for the week. I hope you have a terrific weekend. Stay healthy, stay well. Please check up on anyone who lives alone. A lot of people are undergoing, experiencing a lot of anxiety. And someone who lives alone, just give them a call. See if they're okay. See, loneliness. It's a big problem. Make sure people are okay. Check in on someone who lives solo. And that would be such a nice thing for everybody to do. Okay. I'll end this broadcast and I'll be back Monday at 4:30. Please join me. Thank you.